Today's guest is someone I go way back with. He was a college tennis teammate of my brother's at the University of Dayton, and over the years, I've watched him step fully into who he was made to be. Alex Crum, aka AC, is a man of many gifts: quick wit, charisma, a creative talent, and right now, he's the hottest player on the Pickleball Tour. He's fresh off wins over the #1 player in the world on both the PPA and APP circuits. And yes, he just dropped a pickleball rap as well. AC is taking the pickleball world by storm. But what I admire most about him is his humility and his relentless spirit. Today's episode is about breakthrough moments and the mindset that leads to inner peace and outer excellence. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So glad you're here today. I'm with a very dear friend, longtime friend, college teammate of my brother from the University of Dayton, and so we've kept in touch through the years, and very much recently with Alex's just explosive success, and I'm so glad that he was able to carve out the time today to sit down and really just chat through all things pickleball, but like more so life beyond the court. So, Alex, bro, thanks so much for being here. I know you're coming in from East Hampton tonight. Is that right?
Coming in from a basement in East Hampton adjacent to Sag Harbor, yes. So sorry if my visual is not maybe the best quality, but I'm happy to be here with you, Bryant. Like you said, we've known each other for what feels like a very long time now, and you've always been somebody that I looked up to, not only for your skill on the court, but more so for the way that you carry yourself and that you lead by example off the court. So I would have come in from any country, any spot, any time just to be here with you tonight.
That means a lot, bro. That warms me a lot, and it's only you. We would do something like remote like this. Like it's you're special. So
well, I appreciate that.
Before we get into it, we're gonna do some rapid fire 1-answer questions. So
okay,
if you're ready, let's fire away.
I'm ready.
First one will be go-to hype song before a match.
Headlines.
One word to describe your playing style.
Aggressive.
Most underrated shot in pickleball.
Two-handed backhand swinging volley.
Ooh, I like that. Morning grinder or night owl?
Morning grinder.
Favorite city travel to for pickleball?
New York City.
Good choice. Haven't been there yet. City Pickle? Have you played a tournament there, City Pickle?
No, I played at the U.S. Open venue. So Billie Jean King, Flushing twice.
Yeah. Oh, on the to-do list. Well, the biggest challenge I think as I was preparing for this is how am I going to keep this to 45, 50 minutes? Because we could go in so many different directions. And I know as we get into this, it will take a life of its own. But for the sake of trying to stay on course, I have some questions here that I'm excited to get into, from on-court success, breakthrough moments. What does life look like outside the lines? What does life look like 5-10 years from now? So I think it's only appropriate that we started off with, you're one of the hottest names in pickleball, if not the hottest name in pickleball right now, beating #1 players from both tours, PPA and APP, in a matter of like 2 to 3 weeks. So like, as that is occurring, what's going through your mind during those moments?
It's about damn time. No, I mean, to be honest with you, like the Fed win was more, I don't know, there was maybe more elation there, just because of the stakes, right? It being on the PPA Tour, the biggest stage, I knew that it would be covered, right? I had visualized what it might look like from a social perspective, from an opportunity perspective. I visualized what that would look like if I were able to win. So that match, again, was just pure elation and happiness, because I understood that this was going to present lots of other opportunities for me to do what I wanted in pickleball. The win against Chris, I mean, to be completely frank, again, it sort of added to the mystique or the lore of the whole thing. But like, I beat Chris the only other time that we had played. So, I expected to win that match. And again, I think Chris is maybe a top 2 or 3 singles player in the world. But I definitely felt more pressure going into the match against Fed.
For sure. No, that's fair. And I mean, I don't think people understand like Fed's record. I mean, in the past 12 months, in the past calendar year, I think he's how many matches did he lose? Not many.
Yeah,
Less than a
very
hand.
few. Yeah, less than a handful. I mean, he won. I don't know. I almost double-digit gold medals. I want to say on the PPA Tour last year, which
Thing.
in singles is near impossible. I mean, and the same thing with Chris, to be honest. And Chris with rally scoring is maybe even more impressive. Um,
Arguably. Yeah.
and singles is so tough that I think eventually you come back down to earth a little bit. The margins are so narrow.
Yep.
The game is so fast. It's not like in tennis where it's a 2.5 hour, 3 hour match. It's 45 to 60 minutes typically. But yeah, I mean, I watched Fed all throughout his run last year and was just so impressed by his composure and not even necessarily in the big matches, but in the early rounds, because that somebody like me, who's a really good player, is capable of beating you, and he lost to almost no one that he shouldn't have lost to.
Yeah.
So the ability to win when the target's on your back is something that really impresses me about Chris and Fed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and what really stood out to me is how the Fed match. I mean, it was 3 sets, it was 3 games, and just the mental grit that you had to, go through to get through that is what really stood out to me. I want to. I mean, we could talk about that. That may naturally come up again later on in the convo, but I want to go to for a second, just like racket sports in general. You come from tennis. Tennis is still a huge part of your life, even today. How did you get into racket sports? How is it a part of your DNA? And more importantly, how did it go from tennis to pickleball?
Yeah, I mean, racket sports have been everything to me. I think being active and having a sport that you're passionate about is so important to your mental health and to your relationship building skills and everything else. And so I started playing tennis when I was 8 or 9 years old. I played other sports as well, but just naturally felt good at tennis, or it felt easier to me than maybe other sports did. And yeah, I mean, same as you, grew up playing on the junior circuit in the Southern section, and I just fell in love with the competition. Fell in love with the camaraderie. Making new friends every week, traveling around, staying at hotels with my dad, waking up, on a game day. That feeling I still have it every pickleball tournament. I still have it when that alarm goes off at 5:15 and I'm at a Holiday Inn in middle of nowhere. Like I would rather be nowhere else in the world.
Well,
Even to
let's
this day still.
real quick circle back maybe 5 6 weeks ago. It had been a few months since we last caught up, and you were making your way to PPA Atlanta on a
Yep.
Sunday. I was walking my neighborhood. We were chatting, and this is 2 days before. Well, you had to go through qualities,
Right.
and you were talking about what stood out in that conversation. You were talking about how it was you had to just your headspace was in such a state of calm and gratitude. Like you're like, look, life could be so much worse. I'm headed to the hotel, gonna get a good meal, get some rest, and go play. Qualities of a PPA event. And I think maybe it was a Holiday Inn, and so it
Country Inn and
just
Suites,
was
but
a country in the suites. Okay,
actually, no, no,
uh,
no. It was a Holiday Inn. You're right. And then I
yeah,
moved to the Country Inn and Suites
okay,
like
is that what it
later on in
was?
the week. No, no, no. You're right. You're right on that. It was.
Yeah, and so, but it's something that has been a part of us. We know it. Most folks outside the world of tennis or pickleball, they may not be able to relate, but I totally hear you, and it's just part of us. I miss those days for sure, and we still haven't been on a tennis court yet together. So I don't know.
I
That's
know.
that's
I
way
know.
overdue.
It's
I know
it's
that's
gonna
gonna
happen when I'm coming to
gonna
Austin
happen
in the fall.
exactly one of these. Yeah, sooner rather than later. But okay, so here we are, present day. Like, did you ever think like 10 years? I mean, even 5 years ago, that like you'd be where you are today, um, winning on the PPA tour, beating players that are the best in the sport, signing a contract with the leading tour in pickleball, making raps about pickleball. Like your life has made a complete 180. What are you making of all of this, and where did you think you would be if we went back 5 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm exactly where I was meant to be, exactly where I need to be, and there have definitely been points throughout my 20s and where you kind of start wondering, am I ever going to be who I feel like I was meant to be? Are things ever gonna, what I mean? I've had all this potential and talent throughout the years, and I was doing very well before I was introduced to pickleball, but maybe didn't feel as inspired as I do at this current juncture. But I do remember there was a moment where, and that's when I decided to play pro pickleball. I had played once or twice, and there's a gentleman named Brett Warner who is a member at my country club in Maine, and he was the top 50 singles player at the time. A little bit older now, but we went out and played, and I beat him. And in that moment, I decided, okay, well, if he's a top 50 player, this feels so natural for me, being on this court, this singles court. It feels so natural to me. I'm going to give this a shot. And I remember being in Maine and just thinking, like, wow, like, how cool would it be for me to be able to compete and travel, and like maybe the pickleball could give me a platform to my music and everything else. And I remember having a moment where like this could be something really special for me. And it's taken a little while to sort of manifest. I mean, there's been lots of little wins along the way the last year and a half, but it obviously has culminated in the last couple of months. And yeah, I feel, would I like to be a few years younger? Maybe, but I also still feel like I got at least 10 good years in the tank. And
have like a 25-year-old. You're good.
yeah, no, and exactly. And my body feels good. Like I don't, there's lots of things that I can do better from a wellness standpoint that will, I think, increase my longevity as well. So yeah, man, I mean, I feel like I'm exactly where I need to be, and I'm ready for it. I'm excited more than anything else. Just excited for the opportunity.
I have to give you kudos. I mean, truly, like I could tell. I think it was maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. Not quite sure. I remember a post that you had, and it was someone feeding you balls, and you were just whacking balls. I mean, from the baseline, and you had said, "Ben Johns, I'm coming for you," something along those lines. And
yeah, I was in Maine. That's when I just started playing. Okay. Yeah, I played for like 2 weeks, and I was nuking it.
And I mean, it was inspiring. It was empowering. It made me like almost like want to get out there. And I just got to give you hats off, because when you said like you had the belief, you had it, you truly manifested it, and like I feel like you're on chapter 2 right now of where this is going. So like it's I can't wait to see. But let's switch gears for a second here. Let's go to the PPA. Big time congrats, bro! You just recently signed with the PPA. I know that was a huge goal of yours.
Thank you.
Knowing that, like, look, this is something I want to go all in on, and the way to do that is you have to get signed with the PPA, and that's incredibly hard to do. Only the best in the world get that opportunity. So if you can take us behind the scenes for a little bit, how did that all come together? Because that's not an easy thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously I was kind of on their radar, obviously after beating Fed and everything else. And, I think the PPA is at an interesting crossroads right now where, there's the what has already been announced as far as it becoming more of a prize money based model, which I think ultimately is good for the sport. I think maybe there should be some, and Connor talked about this with Zane, maybe there should be some sort of baseline compensation, hopefully in years to come. But the reality is, your best performers, your best athletes should get paid when they win. And, that's the way that every other league works, especially in pickleball, where it's, we're generating revenue now, but not anything like what your other huge pro sports leagues are generating, So I think, it was a time and place with tour wars and everything else. But I think that we're on the right track now with more of this traditional prize money model. But with that being said, like I think I went on my run at probably the worst possible time, because they're not signing a lot of new talent at this juncture, just because they're reworking everything else, at the same time. So my thing with
further testament to you to be able to get signed in this type of era of where the tour's at, though,
right. And my thing, my selling point, it was like, no one is going to work harder than me on the court going forward, and no one is more excited for this opportunity. But that also, like, I want to be a great champion for the sport off the court as well. And I feel like I'm well positioned to do so. So, I think maybe initially it's like this guy comes in, he's like, who is this character? But the thing is, they got to know me a little bit more. They understand that my heart and my head is in the right place, and that the only thing I want is to be a great ambassador for the PPA Tour and to bring outsiders in. So, listen, I'm thrilled that they've given me the opportunity. I'm so happy that it happened when it did, because now I can kind of piecemeal my schedule together and I know how it looks and everything else. So yeah, just eternally grateful and so excited knowing what lies ahead.
Yeah, well, you'll be a phenomenal ambassador, and it's just I'm more excited to while you were so I'm sure it's APP's loss. You were such a great ambassador for them, and I know you're grateful for the APP for what that presented you as a stepping stone to get to where you are now. And with
100%.
that, now that you are at this next level, like, does the game feel different? Is it more pressure? Is there more purpose now? What does that look like?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think there's definitely more purpose, but exciting in the sense that, like, when I step out on the court now, I'm maybe a little more focused, maybe a little more driven, in the sense that it's not just going out there to have fun. It's always fun, but okay, this is your job now for all intents and purposes. Like, what are your intentions today? Where are you deficient? Whereas beforehand, it's like, yeah, I'm good. I can be really good at times. But maybe that same sort of mindset wasn't there. As far as pressure goes, I haven't played my first PPA as a contracted player yet, so I can't necessarily speak to that. But I'll tell you this: like, knowing that I'm going to have, say, 75 tournaments over the course of the next 3 years, whatever it may be, having that security actually puts me at ease, because, to be honest with you, like, had I not gone on the run in Atlanta, like, with my schedule, I wasn't going to be able to play another PPA until Cincinnati in September. You know what I mean? So I felt more pressure. Like, I play one PPA every 3 months whenever it makes sense logistically. Like, you better go and do something now.
Yeah.
Where it's like, now, all right, I expect to win the tournament in Bristol. Of course, if I don't, I'll go to Vegas 2 weeks later and fire again, right? So, sure, there may be a little bit of added pressure just with the success and everything else, but more calm for me personally, because I think over time I will show that I'm the best singles player in the world, and
I love it.
it's like anything else. When there's more exposure, more opportunities.
And that's where you thrive. I mean, and on the court, off the court. I mean, and you've been doing that. Your journey up to this point has proven that you just needed the right opportunity. And that's a good point. I didn't think. I mean, Cincinnati was September. That really was a lot of pressure. Like, I mean, Atlanta.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was so
I
nervous.
mean, otherwise, you would have been in the fall. Let's try this again.
100%.
Yeah. No. So that's. But here we are. Like, is there a specific moment now, present day, and your recent accolades and accomplishments, that you're like, okay, this is more than just playing. Like, this is perhaps a calling. And I know you had brought reference to it before. Like, this is what I want. This is what I'm made to be. This is what I'm called to be. But was there a specific inflection point or moment?
As far as this goes, I wouldn't say there was like a necessary. I think I've always kind of felt like that I was, somebody who was not like meant for stardom. That's the wrong way to phrase it, but had the personality to connect with a large amount of people. I mean, even before I, had more of a platform than like the platform that I do now, which I continue to expect to grow. Like, I would always put out goofy videos and goofy content, and like, when I would go out, there would be random people that I didn't know. It's like, dude, I love your videos. I love your. So I think I've always had the ability to connect. And it's like, now I feel, again, more empowered to connect with more people. That's always what it's been about for me, is connecting to other people, and trying to help the masses in any way that I can through, relating or anything else like that. So I wouldn't say there was a particular moment, but, it just feels right for me, if that makes sense.
Well, I shared it. You'll see it in the intro. Like, when I walked on campus at UD many moons ago, and I met you for the first time from day one, I'm like, man, there's something different about this kid. Like, he has a gift for connecting, and then not to say the charisma on top of that. So You are where you're supposed to be, my friend.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
can you share a time like when you maybe along this journey you doubted yourself, like, gosh, like this isn't for me, like, and we could go even tennis too, because I mean you have a long history. I mean you've been a career of tennis for past many years. This pickleball, perhaps if PPA Atlanta went a different way, that could have been a moment where you're like, man, do I continue to do this? So if you could take share with the viewers those times when you're like, man, this is my lowest of lows right now, and I'm struggling to put one foot in front of the other. Like, how do I keep going? Like, and maybe there wasn't a time. What does that look like?
Dude, honestly, I was thinking about this, and as crazy as this seems, 4 days before Atlanta, I played APP Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Um, I had just gotten done teaching in South Florida. I've noted that I wasn't able to play a lot in March and April, and even the beginning of May, and I lost to a good player in the first round of Cincinnati. I lost to Eduardo Irizarry, who's a good player, but I
Mm-hmm.
just didn't feel good out there. I just didn't feel like, I mean, it was a very close match. I lost in 3 sets, but I just felt like I'm not hitting my shots. Now, to be fair, I was playing with a paddle that I absolutely hate and have no confidence with. I won't say that name of that paddle because I don't want to throw shade. Um, but I just felt, yeah, like I'm not that good. Like I can't do what I want with the ball. I remember I called my girlfriend afterwards and I was like, I blanking suck. Like I'm terrible. Like she's like, no, you're not. And I remember she sent me this like 3 paragraph text, like, you're amazing. You are so good. You're so talented. It's going to happen for you. And then 4 days later, the Fed thing happened. So obviously, you know, a couple days after that, I reframed. I did everything else. I got a paddle that I actually like, with a little bit of grit. That's all I need.
That's all you
And
need.
yeah, but in that moment, I felt like the draw in Cincinnati had set up for me really nicely to where I expected to make a semifinal or a final. And then I lost first round. And I was like, great way to kick off the summer, dude. Like, because
Yeah.
I knew I had 3 tournaments back to back to back, Cincy, Atlanta, New York, like in the span of 3 weeks. And yeah, it started off on a horrible note, to be honest. And so yeah, even driving, yeah, I remember even like on the phone with you, I mean, I had belief, but it wasn't like this, I'm going to go and win Atlanta type belief. It was like, we'll see, I'm capable, but didn't go great a few days ago. So yeah, I mean, dude,
Well,
more.
that's something you just took me into your world with something that I didn't know, and as crazy and cheesy as it may sound, like it's always like those like the breakdowns right after oftentimes come the breakthroughs, but like in the middle of the breakdown, who wants to hear that?
Right,
Like,
right, right.
but like 4 days before, and then you go and beat Fed, number one player in the world. So that's thank you for sharing that. That's like that's inspiring.
No, I think that you're right, to your point. Like, that's, you obviously, when you're in the moment, you can't quite envision it happening that way, but you gotta be willing to fail in life. You have to be willing to fail.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I want you, because I know a little bit, a sliver of like the sacrifices and the challenges that you make on a daily basis, especially the past few years to with career, trying to juggle training for pickleball, never have even trained full time, which I'm stoked for you that soon will hopefully be a possibility. If you could just share a day in the life or some of the challenges behind the scenes that you've had to deal with just to maintain where you are right now. What does that look like? Day in the life.
Yeah, I mean, since I've been playing professionally for about a year and a half, I mean, from the months of, I would say, starting in November and ending in May, I'd be on the tennis court, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day in South Florida. And I was located in kind of a pickleball hotbed, but, I get home at 7 o'clock. So um, during that 6 month span, I could only play Florida tournaments and I could only play singles. So the last 2 years, there would be maybe 3 or 4 tournaments in that 6 month span. I think the first year it was 3. Last year I did 4. And so, literally I would work that Wednesday
Yep.
till 5 or 6 o'clock, drive to Punta Gorda or Fort Lauderdale, get there at 10 p.m., wake up at 5, and then just play that one day and drive back and be on the court that next day at Friday. but I looked forward to it so much when I was down there. It's like, obviously I'm in South Florida. It's beautiful. I have other hobbies and interests, but like on my calendar during the season where I'm teaching, it's like, all right, Punta Gorda is 3 weeks away, And so just, again, like trying to practice once or twice a week and then to get ready for these tournaments. But it's difficult. Again, I'm already exerting myself physically, from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. So most of the good pros are 45 minutes south. They're not going to want to practice with me at 7:30.
No.
So I just kind of had to piecemeal it together and try not to lose what I had already gained. But I don't know how much real progress was being made because I haven't been able to play.
Yeah. Well, I certainly know that I would not have been able to do that because I know how, for me, what I respect, one of the many things about you is that like you were able to kind of just say like, hey, I'm going to play, but I know I didn't put everything that I possibly could have preparation wise to play at this level. But you proved that like it can still be done. And that's where the mindset is so powerful. For me, I probably would have been like, I haven't conditioned to the level that I would have wanted to. I haven't taken care of my body the way I would have wanted to, or the reps on court with the drilling, the playing, etc. So like for you to defy those odds, for that I think most people would want to like they'd be in probably have more mindset if they're playing at a high level. You being able to defy that is says a lot. I mean, it just goes to show like I mean, how excited are you now that you probably will have more time to dedicate to the physicality, the drilling, the playing? I mean, does that
So excited. It lights me up. I mean, and that's the thing. I think maybe it was initially misinterpreted. I think it was maybe initially misinterpreted where I was like, yeah, I've only been playing once or twice a week. Not to say like, yeah, I don't care, like blah, blah, blah.
No.
It's just, circumstances didn't allow it. And so, but it was kind of a chicken or the egg thing for me where I'm like, I'm not going to be able to train full time and become the best I can be if I don't beat like a top 2 or 3 player in the world. And I'm also not going to be the top 2 or 3 player in the world if I don't train every day. Luckily I did. And now I have the opportunity to do that. But yeah, no one's more excited to me than to pour myself into this and see what I can do. I would think I'll get better, but
let's go. No, I mean, I don't think people understand if you're on the court for like 8 hours like that, the last thing you have the energy to do is go actually be back on your feet and train. So like,
yeah. And for me, like I'm like a clown when I teach. Like I'm so loud all day long. Like it's the only way that I know how to do it, and I know people really appreciate the energy. But like I'm yelling, like you know what I mean. I tell my girlfriend this all the time. Like it's like, and she has a very, she works in the country club tennis world as well. But they're like different jobs, so it's just like staring at the sun for 8 hours. Like by like 9:30, like I'm just cooked. I'm an absolute marshmallow. So it's just it is what it is.
It is what it is. Well, let's pivot to biggest lesson pickleball has taught you that you never would have thought of prior to picking up a paddle, as it's like right now.
Yeah, it's never too late to become who you were meant to be. Never too late. And I never envisioned that pickleball would be sort of what sort of set me on this trajectory to like, finally pour myself into something and realize potential in all the ways that I hadn't done up until this point, all the ways that I wished I would but hadn't. That would be my thing. It's never too late to reach your potential.
Man, like that's yeah.
I mean, maybe it is, but like it's not. If that makes sense. Like you can always you need somewhere to start to where you start pouring yourself in and becoming the person you need to be, right?
I think yes. I mean, it's no matter your age, I think it's so vital to always have something to be striving for.
100%.
Especially in the older late. I was just talking to my dad recently, and I love how even at his age, like he is still like he's setting goals and things that you want to achieve. I mean, I think that's what keeps the youth, especially as we get older. So like I think that's just part of the journey. Has to be
100%.
So
has to be.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, athlete at 30 to 33, signing
a very young
30,
33.
Yeah, very young, exactly. Young 33. Well,
young, spry. Some lady I think I bought a high noon or something yesterday. She was like, "You look so young." I'm like, "Thank you."
Yes. You did.
It's a skincare routine.
Take us into your mindset. So like you're in a match, and for instance, in the Fed match and the Hayworth match, I mean, both of those games are so close. you're down. What is your mindset? How are you resetting in a game that's so fast? Are you even
Yeah, I
thinking?
think I've gotten better at it over time, but just try to keep playing. I mean, in the first set against Fed, I was down 9-3, and then I've watched
Yeah,
that match back a time or two, and I just kept playing. And I mean, that was probably the highest level that I played in the whole match, was like that run I went on at 3-9, like from like
yeah.
3-9 to like 9-all. He missed 2 returns at the end of the game, but from 3-9 to 9-all, like I played pretty lights out pickleball. Uh, and just, yeah, not paying too much attention to the score, as hard as that is. I've lost matches when I was up. Recently, I've started winning more when I was down, but yeah, somehow, and I'm honestly still working on this, because I have a tendency to like blow someone out in game one and then totally lose focus in game two and have to go to a game three. And so I think just trying to keep that same intensity. Side out pickleball allows for big comebacks, so yeah, I think just try not to pay too much attention to the score and just keep playing. Easier said than done, but
Easier said than done. But
I
yeah,
keep telling myself 0-0. Like that's my new mantra for competing, it's going to be is 0-0. Whether I'm up or down, those little letdowns in pickleball can kill you. So
or just have the Rafa or Alcaraz mentality, whatever that it is. I don't know what it is, but it works.
yeah, I
So
don't know, man. I don't know. I will, but yeah, I think the best players in the big moments are not thinking, oh my gosh, it's 6-5,
yeah,
40-30 match point. Like they're just playing. I saw actually, this is relevant. So Mira Andreeva, who's a tennis phenom, 16-year-old, she just made her first final. I think she beat Emma Navarro today.
oh,
It was love 40 in the second set. She had won the first. She wins the point, and she has no clue that she's won the match. She walks back to the thing. She's playing with her strings, and Navarro's sitting there at the net like, come on, girlfriend.
you
And
just
she was
won the
so
match.
engaged. She had no clue she won the match. No clue. So I think
Oh,
that's
I'll have to go
relevant.
run that back and watch that.
It's a
That's a
great
great
clip.
example. That's a great example.
Great clip.
Um, wow. Okay. Well, so with everything moving, you have your travel, your tournaments. You're still teaching right now. How is AC staying connected still to his purpose? I know you're like, look, I'm becoming who I was made to be, and you are living that out now. But even peeling back the layer a little bit more, your true purpose and thinking legacy. How do you want to be remembered? How are you staying connected to that deeper sense of purpose?
Yeah, I think this is true for most people, but your inner circle, those around you, right? I mean, I think I have probably a much bigger circle than most people, to be honest. But there are certain people who hold me accountable. I obviously right now I've had a lot of people reach out and say how great you are and this, that, and the third, and how proud they are. But I have people like my girlfriend and my dad who you know, definitely hold me accountable in a different way, I would say, which is good. I think it's always important to have a few people in your circle that will remind you where you were 2 months ago or remind you of when you were at your lowest point. And, for me, yeah, I give my dad grief all the time because he sort of, he says, Alex, well, you still doubles and everything else. He's still always just giving me a hard time that I haven't accomplished anything yet, but I agree. Uh, and so I think just by keeping a network of friends that will congratulate you and celebrate your wins, but also not let you get too far ahead of your skis. So I mean, it's friends and family for me always.
And I can relate certainly. I mean, when I went through my darkest days, it was the core, it was the family, it was the folks that you could rely on, and they're going to be there through thick and thin. Actually, with my good friend last week, we attended an event. Sahil Bloom, he wrote the book, The Five Types of Wealth, and one of the
Amazing.
many golden nuggets that he shared was, I forget the exact example, but straight to the root of it is he's talking about like friends, and he was comparing it to a tree, and how that we have our branches, friends, and friends that will be there for seasons, and especially during times when, like, look, AC is on the rise, everyone wants to be a part of that, but like, what if, like, when you're at the ground floor and it's just you in the gymnasium, that's when your
All
core
right.
is going to, and then he brought it to the roots, like, who are your roots, and that's usually family, and then the select
Right.
friends. If you can
Right.
count on one hand, you're still lucky. So I appreciate you sharing that. I can totally relate.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I got to go even back like when I was in Louisville the past couple of weeks. Like I spent a lot of time with just like my day ones, the guys who were with me when I really had a dark time in my early 20s, and it's the same as always. You know what I mean? I mean, sure, there have been other like old friends and stuff who have reached out to congratulate me and sharing my success, and I appreciate that. Like,
of course.
when people that I haven't heard from in a long time reach out to congratulate me, I take that in stride. Some people may view it as like, oh well, I don't know. I think sometimes people have that mentality where it's like people only reach out when you're doing well. It's like, well, at least they reached out at all. Like
That's fair.
I don't view it in that light. I'm happy to
Yeah,
connect whenever.
that's a good mentality. Um, let's see. Well, let's go to, you had mentioned like a verse, a mantra, something that you're constantly kind of, it's just part of your inner being, as you go about, you know your life on the court, off the court. Is there something that AC has that's front and center, wakes up, this is what's getting me through today? Is there a verse? Is there a
Mm,
quote?
so
Or maybe not.
for me, something I've been thinking about recently is like taking my own advice on a day to day basis. If that makes any sense, like
Why?
I know the right things to do. I know the right things to say. I know who I want to be.
Yep.
And it's easy, I think, to sort of brush that aside. But I think when it's in terms of like decision making and actions, when it's us, there's always that built in self doubt. But if a friend came to me and asked me the same exact question, how should I handle this? How should I do this? I would have 100% confidence in telling them what I think and what I know.
Mm.
Uh, and so I think oft we know what we need to do. We know who we want to be. We know right from wrong. We know what's going to make us feel good tomorrow or what's going to make us feel bad tomorrow. And that could apply to a lot of different things. And so I've just been trying to take my own advice, uh, you know, and I don't mean that to sound like self-indulgent or something, but it's like, I think I have a pretty good feel for what is good and what is good for people and things like that. So I don't know. Whenever a friend reaches out to me and going through a problem, I feel like I always give sound advice and always help them out. And it's like, dude, why don't you should listen to yourself for some of these things.
Well, one of the things, I mean, it reminds me, one of the things someone shared with me recently is don't forget what you already know, Brian. And it's just like, we oftentimes, you're right, to your point, we have the answers, we know the answers. We want to like hear some magic pill from someone else that we already know.
Right.
And just, we know it. Do it.
Yep.
Easier said than done.
Easier said
All
than
right,
done.
let's go to the rap, baby. So, it's called Anna Bright, one of hopefully many songs to come.
Yeah,
I
we're doing an
obviously
EP.
know your okay. I love it. I know your background with rap. I know what you're capable of. But for the viewers, like, when did this passion and this hobby start? And then second, when did you get the idea with your crew to actually make a rap song about pickleball? And what are you hoping that comes of it?
Yeah, I mean, the rap journey started for me many, many, many moons ago. And I think I was 10 or 11 years old living in suburban Chicago. I should mention
Okay.
that. A neighbor of mine was freestyling. I started doing it. I loved Eminem. It sort of became a fabric of my being ever since then. Starting at age 13, 14, rapping and writing songs, from the different classrooms and going around and performing them, translating into high school where I would record songs and, rap at picnics and freestyle at parties and at my graduation and my pep rallies, and then transitioning to college where I did a 10,000 freestyles at different parties. And, music ultimately, as kind of became not a darker thing, but a little bit, to where I put so much pressure on myself to become this mega star. And I stopped pouring myself into other things in life that made up who I am. And I think when you do that, if you push yourself too far into one thing and totally neglect your relationships and your hobbies and this, that, and the third, you can end up with your foot in your mouth. So that kind of did happen. And then, in my mid 20s and the last 5 to 7 years, my relationship with music has become something that I love again. I've always loved to write songs. I've always loved to create. I've recorded probably 20 to 30 songs over the last 10 years, and I expect that number to increase moving forward. So it's always something that I've liked to do, always something that's come very naturally for me, freestyling, writing songs. Like I can always sit down and write a song. Like if you give me 60 minutes, write a song, give me a topic, give me a beat, I'll do it 100 out of 100 times. It's just something I can do. And I've had a lot of practice at it. So as far as the song for Anna Bright goes, so we did have a documentary crew who I met in Atlanta. I don't know where the documentary is going to land yet, but they've been following some other PPA Tour players around as well. I don't know where it's going to land. Hopefully somewhere cool. They're great. They've been awesome to work with. But they spent a day with me in Louisville, Kentucky, kind of doing a day in my life that consisted of a tennis lesson, a pickleball session, a sit-down interview, yada, yada, yada. But it ultimately culminated in a recording studio session that they wanted to film because they had heard I do music as well. And I thought, you know what? It would be really cool to do sort of a pickleball themed song, but not like a goofy song, but like a hard rap song. And so, I think the songs about, the players like a Mo Bamba or a Tyler Hero in that vein, where it's not necessarily even about the person, but more the energy, more the mindset about being a competitor. And, my agent, Anna Bright, actually interned for my agent for Cracked Rackets. Shout out CR, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So they had a relationship. We reached out to her. I mean, Anna Bright is also just like a cool name in itself. It's easy to rhyme with and everything else. We reached out to her. She said she was cool with it. I wrote the song one night, 2 days before the documentary crew came. They came in. We recorded the song in one night. We recorded the video in one day at the Louisville Zoo. Bada boom, bada bing. And that was that. But it's been...
At the zoo, you were like literally with lions. And
dude, it was insane. At the zoo, shout out to the Louisville Zoo, man. They treated me like the Sultan of Dubai in there. I was shocked. I was able to go into all the exhibits and, they do great work there. So it was definitely a privilege, and I thought it turned out great. But going forward, my plan is to record an EP in the fall, maybe 6 to 7 songs. I'm writing it right now, actually.
Pickleball themed, or we're talking outside pickleball?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd necessarily say pickleball themed, maybe pickleball coded, or is that a synonym? I'm not going to be like rapping about dinking in every darn song. All right, I want to rap about my life. I want to bring people from outside the pickleball world into my music. But I will say there will probably be a few nods, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Some that maybe somebody who doesn't play pickleball might not even pick up on it, but I think subtlety can be a nice thing in music. So definitely more music coming from me. And I have a show on Thursday, actually, in New York City, but
can't wait.
We'll see how that goes.
A throwback that I still have in my mind, and I'm still waiting because it was, you know where I'm going with this.
I know where you're going.
Is there
anybody out there? Dude, that was a banger. I still have that beat, man.
Oh,
I still have the beat.
So fire. No, I mean, could talk hours about this. I can't wait to see kind of where it goes. The EP, that's good to hear. You have a handful of songs coming out later this year. And that's just a great segue, like how pickleball, I'm sure that it, can be a phenomenal platform, for that as well, which makes you even more unique, and it's more along the AC brand. It's not just pickleball. It's just this well-rounded. You have so many different pillars to your brand that I'm sure has to excite you.
100%. And listen, like and I've reiterated this to people with PPA, is that like no one's gonna bust their tail more than I am on the court. But by the same token, like I like making music, I like doing podcasts, I like doing these things. I'm gonna continue to do them. Like I will put in the work on the court, and my goal is to become the number one player in the world. That doesn't change it, but I also am going to lean into the other things that I'm good at. So, I tell people this all the time. I'm not good at very many things, but I'm pretty good at a few things. And it's like, all right, I'd like to 100%. I'd like to really pour myself into the music. into the social side of it, and obviously into the pickleball as well. So.
But you're definitely a Renaissance man. So like you're saying a few things, but like you do it freaking all, dude. So
Well,
just keep
pickleball
doing
rap,
AC.
and yeah, it's very niche. There's just not a lot of pickleball rappers out there who can do either one of them decently well. So
Blue Ocean, baby, Blue
that's
Ocean.
what I was saying when
One
I
of
was like
one.
one of one. I said this. I was like, if you give somebody a cheeseburger who's never eaten a cheeseburger, they're gonna think it's filet mignon. That's kind of like that's what it is with me. They've just never seen a pickleball rapper.
Exactly. Well, we have to take this home here in the next few minutes. So I really want to get down to like, okay, life off the court, looking ahead, stories that you'd be able to maybe tell your grandchildren one day. Like, let's fast forward. But before like we go that far down, let's talk 5 years from now. And I know that's really tough. I hate when people say, hey, where do you want to be 5 years from now? I don't know where I'm going to be next week. But like big picture, we all have to plan to some capacity. Where do you want to be? Where are you pouring your energy? Of course, we know, you just signed a 3-year contract. So we know more along the lines of on court, but there could still be something else that like, hey, this is what I really want to achieve. And also off the court as well. I'm sure with the brand. What does that look like?
Yeah, I think I have a lot of things that I'd like to do on and off the court. Obviously, in 5 years, I still would like to be competing at the highest level in the world. I think physically, I'll still be able to do that. So that's something I hope to still be traveling, competing, playing Major League Pickleball, doing all those things. Off the court, I'd like to get more involved on the international side of the sport. I think, especially the Asian market, fascinates me. I think it's going to be insane. It already is. And then trying to help the game grow in Europe as well. I have some ties to Germany, and just trying to help grow the game internationally is something I'm interested in. Also, just getting involved a little bit more on the business side of things. I think there's an opportunity. Not that this is my sole goal, but I think there's an opportunity for this to be extremely lucrative for me. And like, listen, I want to buy my parents a house. I want to do all these things. Like so just getting more involved in the business side of that, whether that be franchising a facility or however that looks, I would like to just dip my toes in the water a little bit more there. And then, yeah, man, I mean, hopefully I'm still ripping. I'd like to – we actually have plans to do like a college pickleball tailgate tour with music and pickle and potentially involving an old friend of mine another musician who but I won't divulge that just yet. So yeah, man. I mean, again, competing, helping grow the game internationally, trying to build a business. Hopefully, all of those things still.
That's quite a bit, my friend.
Maybe a kid or something. I don't know.
They all are interconnected.
They are intertwined.
They are intertwined. I think you'd be a great dad. I mean, being a dad. Speaking of that, like one of the things that has inspired me, pickleball, all racket sports, is to stay in shape. To see, my daughter see me compete in some capacity. I'm not saying like at a pro level, but just like in some way. And so, like, dude, you better start making that happen now within the next 3 years while you're still on tour.
No, I'll be on tour for another 10, man. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously, the next 3 years would be tricky for me to do that. But you know what? Listen, I love kids. I really do. I love that I can sort of like spend a day with them and then kick them to the curb and go back and like go to sleep when I want at night. But I mean, I've always loved. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. Like, I literally am going to spend 8 hours with these little hoodlums all day tomorrow, and I enjoy it. So
they love your energy, as you said. Like
they do. Well, they feel like they're talking to another kid their age.
Keep bringing it, bro, because that's I mean, I even see pros here in Austin and all great pros, but like the number one thing that's lacking is the energy.
That's everything.
Like that's like it is everything. It is everything. So, all right, let's bring this home. So, all said and done, AC, Alex Crum, what are people saying about the man when it's all said and done? What is the goal? People like, I'm at your, how do you want to be remembered?
My funeral.
It's something struggle with that, but for me, I don't.
Yeah.
I daily.
No. Listen, it's part of life, brother. Yeah, I just kind of want to be remembered as a friend to all. I always talk about like, I work in a very, where some people are tough, right? They've been very successful maybe, and they're used to having things a certain way. I always say, I want you to give me the meanest, grouchiest, least likable person, and I want to find something redeeming about that person, because everyone has something. There are exceptions to that, depending on what crimes you've committed. But by and large, people that are jerks, there's something there. And so that's how I want to be remembered. A guy who is willing to give everyone a chance, and someone who's just a friend to all. That's it.
And that's I needed to hear that tonight. So if nothing else, that I appreciate you sharing that. I struggle with that sometimes. So I know our viewers will certainly
It can be
take
tough.
away from that as well.
It
That
can
could
be
be
tough.
very hard. Well, bro, I know this is just like I said, this is like chapter two, how I view it for you in terms of like where your journey is, where you're going. I can't wait to see where you'll be. Not even talking 5 years from now, like every 3 months from now, like for the pace you're moving at is going to be, you know, you'll be moving the needle, and so like just can't wait to continue to follow, the journey. I'm your biggest fan, as you know.
Thanks,
Can't
B.
wait for you to get back to
Likewise.
and so we
I'm
can
coming.
run
I'm
it
coming in the
here.
fall. Football
I know you
season. I'll
said
be
that
there.
Houston and Austin, so we'll run it. We'll get my brother in the picture too,
I
Bunso,
love it, man.
know,
We'll get the
and
Bunso out there.
we'll get the Bunso out there. And yeah, so thanks so much for coming on. To the viewers. I know I took away multiple things here. I hope and know you did as too. Number one being like, it's never too late. Whatever's on your heart, whatever that nudge is, it's probably been nudging on you, keeping you up at night for a while now. Lean into that. Press in. I know I will be. And there's so many other takeaways. So rewatch. Watch this guy. His journey is phenomenal, and it's only going to get better. We'll plug his socials below. On that, AC, where can people follow you?
Yeah, Instagram is what I'm operating on primarily right now at AC Baby Baby. You can also follow me on Twitter at AC Baby Baby with an extra Y at the end, because AC Baby
Okay.
Baby was taken. I'm gonna
Yep.
get a little bit more involved as far as like TikTok and all that stuff goes, but I would say Instagram is where I'm mostly active. As we continue to grow, we'll expand a little bit on that. But I just want to say to all your listeners, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. And again, that's what I would want to reiterate is that, it's always darkest before the dawn, baby. A little
Amen.
Batman quote for you, because like I said, a few days before maybe the biggest win or biggest moment in my recent life was a dark, sort of doubtful moment for me. So thank you guys for tuning in. Brian, thank you. You're such a role model for me, and you've been a friend to me through good times, bad times, and I genuinely appreciate you, and I'm always proud of you, brother. So thanks for having me, man.
Brother, much love. And next time we run it, it'll be in the studio live. So this
Yeah,
is not the
exactly.
last.
Sorry if I won't be in a rickety basement in the Hamptons.
That's okay. Whatever it takes. So keep doing your thing. Keep shining, bro. And we'll talk later.
Sounds good, B.
See you
Appreciate you.
guys. All right.
Ciao.
Bye.